Having had a difficult morning closing my backpack, I was not impressed when my taxi driver drove right past me. I eventually made it to the train station with another taxi driver and onto a horribly busy train where I had to shove my way through to get to my reserved seat. It was an uncomfortable journey. Sitting alongside my backpack, I felt like I had morphed into luggage as well. Arriving in the sweltering afternoon heat of Prague, I opted to sit under a tree outside the train station where I ate the packed lunch that I did not have enough space to eat on the train. I completed the online check-in for my hostel and acknowledged that I had an hour or two to kill before I could check into my room. As I sat people watching, I thought about the bunk beds, sharing a bathroom, the fact the hostel had no aircon, the fact it was located in the red light district, and the fact it had reviews of bed bugs in the past. The more I thought about it, the more I dreamed of something more luxurious. So I ended up in a hotel instead. The hotel had aircon and restaurants right across the street, where I ended up going out for dinner. I went to an ATM when I went out and accidentally got way too much money, and so began 2 days of me trying to get rid of it and pretending to be rich. I spent the evening walking around Prague Square and admiring the buildings whilst eating ice cream and drinking watermelon juice. I felt very relaxed, and I loved soaking up the atmosphere. On my first full day in Prague, I went to a Salvador Dali exhibition. It was a small exhibition containing his original sculptures and paintings. I'm normally more drawn to paintings than sculptures, but being there gave me a real appreciation of the artistry that goes into sculpture. I appreciated the imaginative nature of everything. I booked a walking tour in the afternoon. On the way there, I stopped off for lunch where I had the most refreshing lemonade. The tour took us over Charles Bridge, where we learnt about various statues, and then we got a tram to Prague Castle. Prague Castle took over 500 years to build, so it has many different styles.
So, in the case of siege, it was possible to fill the moat very quickly by water.
The stained glass windows were gorgeous. It was interesting, if not a little disappointing, to learn that one of the stained glass windows was actually made by an insurance company, so it consisted of images of accidents to represent accident insurance. The tour ended at Golden Lane, which consists of lots of cute houses that sell crafts and so forth. Franz Kafka actually wrote one of his books in the Blue House. We also learnt that there used to be one toilet at the top of the lane, and the urine used to flow down the lane, leading to the name Golden Lane. Given that I had so much Czech kroner to spend, I opted to go to a posh restaurant for a 3-course meal for dinner. I had oysters, seafood risotto, and a white chocolate soup dessert. I also had a few cocktails. It was absolutely delicious. Later in the evening, I walked along the river and watched people on their pedal boats before I arrived at the jazz dock. It was a venue on the river where I saw a blues band and enjoyed some wine. I really enjoy live jazz and blues music, so this was a real highlight for me. I kicked off my final day in Prague by going to the Franz Kafka Museum. I bought my ticket from the miserable woman at the till and spent an hour to an hour and a half in the museum. It was fairly small, and I feel like they could do so much more with the museum. I learnt that Kafka was adamant that he did not want an insect on the cover of his book, Metamorphosis. He was also part of a group of people, including Albert Einstein, who would meet to discuss various subjects, including psychoanalysis and the theory of relativity. I also learned that Kafka hated work. He just wanted to write. Following the Kafka Museum, I had pizza for lunch and then pottered along to Waldstein Garden, which had peacocks, koi fish and interesting buildings. By the evening time, I fancied a light dinner, so I opted for a salad from Billa's supermarket, and I enjoyed a chilled night in my hotel, reading and watching some Netflix, and trying not to think too much about another potentially terrible train journey the following day. And that's my postcard from Prague. Prague was a stunning city just to walk around. I felt very at peace there, and very much in awe of everything that I saw. It's the kind of place where I could just look and feel inspired.